Go and click escape. Okay, so now my network is ready. But the next step is to make sure that we edit the properties of each junctions and links. So to do that, we have two options. We can just click here one by one and enter the value. And the other option, and this is what I wanted to cover in this tutorial, is by using the flex table. So in short, flex tables, as far as WaterGEMS is concerned, are dynamic tables of input values and calculated results. Okay, input values and calculated results. Okay, so we don't need to go and enter one by one properties. So you just click at this junction 1, junction 2, junction 3 and enter the values, just like what we did in the previous tutorial. By using a flex table, our life becomes even much easier. Okay, let me show you how to use the flex table. It's actually simple. Just go to home and go straight to this area here. Just click this area. You can see you can even use Ctrl+7 to activate it, or you can just click on top of it. But for me, I'm going to click somewhere here down. This is the options that we are having. But the first property that I want to edit is the junction elevation data. And to do that, I'll just go straight and select junctions here. So this junction here, I'll just select. Then this is the table that we are having for now. Remember, I said that a flex table are the dynamic tables of input values and the calculated values. So you can see here, the white colored values are the input values, and the yellow colored values, these are the results. Okay, so because we want to insert our values, then we need to use the elevation, or we need to use the white colored tables or columns. Okay, so from here I want to enter the elevation value for each junction. So instead of just clicking one by one, we can utilize this flex table option in WaterGEMS. So from here, what I can do, I need to insert the value for J1. So instead of going and double click it, we can just use this flex table and enter its value. So J1, the value here is 90. So for J1, and J2, this is J2. The value here, so for J2, the elevation value is 85. And also for J3, the elevation value, is 80. And for J4, the elevation value is 88. And again, for J5, which is this one, the elevation value is 70. And for J6, the elevation value is 66. And also for J7, the elevation value is 65. And lastly, the elevation value for J8 is 68. So this is J8 here. Okay, so if you're done, let me close this. If I double click just any of the junction, you can see the elevation value is here. So instead of just clicking one by one, you can use the flex table, and that is the beauty of WaterGEMS. Now the other option is to edit the value for our pipes or the links. Okay, but before that we need to insert the value for a reservoir. But because we have just one reservoir, I can just double click it and enter the value manually. But if you had a lot of reservoirs here, you could go and select the reservoir here. Okay, so if you click this, you can see we have just one, but if you have more than one reservoirs, all of the reservoirs will be here. But for now, I want to double click this one and enter the elevation value manually. So the elevation value for our reservoir or our source is 100. Okay, now we are done. So the next step is to change the value for our pipe or for the links. Okay, because we have more than one, we have a lot of them. Okay, we cannot just go and double click one by one and enter the value just like what we did on this reservoir here, but rather we are going to utilize the flex table. So if I click this, if I click anywhere here, you can see we have this option here. And for now, what we are dealing with is the pipe table. So if I double click this pipe table here, you can see this is the same table that we are having. Again, keep it in your mind. The yellow colored values are the calculated values, and we are not going to touch anything on these yellow values or yellow cells. But to edit our values, we are going to use only the white colored columns or cells. Okay. So for links, what I need to do is to insert the link length. Okay, step by step, link length. We have done with elevation data. Now we are dealing with the link length. From here, what I can do is to scroll this one all the way to the end. You can see here, we have two columns here. So the first one is the has user defined length, and the other one is the length. For now, you can see the length option is not active because it's yellow colored. But if you want to activate this, we need to activate this has user defined length. Okay, so make sure that you put the tick. You can see now we are able to edit these values. So as soon as I tick, we have this, and also if I tick this, we have the option to edit. I'll just take both of them. This is what we're having, right? So the next thing that I need to do is to insert my values. Okay, so to insert my values, let me move this one down around this region. Okay, let me shift this. So this is what we are having. Let me take it back to around this area. You can see now we want to change to edit the value of R1 to J1, which is this one, which is P1. I don't know where is it. Can I have P1? Let me see if, okay, so which is P1. I need to insert its value as 200. And again, this one here is 200. And again, this one is 200. But you can see we have the same values here, but why are we clicking one by one instead of finding a way to edit both of them at once? So if you want to edit the value, both of the values at once instead of just entering one by one, you can just click here. You can just click on this table around this area and right click. You can see we have this global edits. So if I click this one, you can see this is the sub menu that we are having, and it says the values. Okay, so the option is set. Okay, so the option is set. That is very important. We need to set the value for each of our cells here to 200. So as soon as I click OK, you can see now this is what we are having. So if you have a lot of links, instead of just going and edit one by one, you can just click here and activate the global edits. So if I want to turn my values, let's say to 250, this is what we are having, 250. Of course, you can just go and edit one by one, but for now, I just want to go with 250. Okay. And the next thing that we can change here, so apart from length, what I can change as far as pipes or links are going is the Williams, but we are not using the Williams. We are using the Das Westpac. Okay, Das Westpac. Okay, so for now we are having the Williams, but we want to have the Das Westpac because, as I said earlier, what we are using is the Das Westpac, but for now we are having the Williams. To go around that, what we can do is to select the flex table and select the pipe. And then this is very important, guys. This is very important. Just go here, select this one here. You can see we are having this edit option here. Okay, so if I select this, you can see we have this sub menu again. And if I scroll down, you can see we have the Das Westpac. Okay, so we have these two values of Das Westpac. So I want to select this one here, which is Das Westpac E, and from here, if I want to display its value on our table, what I can do is to select this add here. Of course, you have two options. You can even select add or remove, but because we want to add this value to our table, then what I can do is to select add. Okay, so I'm going to click this add. You can see now we have its values here. But we want to remove the Hazen-Williams C because we don't want to use it because we are not using the Hazen-Williams. Again, to remove any column on this on our flex table is to just select the parameter or the property you want to remove. For my case is Hazen-Williams. Just select it and click remove. So if I select this and I click remove, this is what we have. Okay, so from here I'll just click OK. You can see what we are having is the Das Westberg value here. But I want to move this Das Westberg to this area, of course, in this areas somewhere here. Okay, so if I move this, you can see now I am having that option. So I want to move this Das Westberg to around this region. So you just click and hold, then move to whatever position that you want to move your value. Okay, so for me, that is okay. That is fine. Okay, so now it is fine. Okay, so what I can do next is to close this. Oh, not yet closing. So I need to change the pipe material. Okay, so now we have done with specifying the length and also the Das Westberg parameter. What I can do next is to specify the pipe materials. Okay, pipe materials. Okay, so from here what I can do is to select one by one. Of course you can click here global edit, but I'm not interested with that for now. I want to change the pipe material for one by one. So from here you can see this is our pipe number 1 or link number 1. If I cancel and select, and I click these 3 dots, you can see we are having these several materials here. So the pipe number 1 from the reservoir to EA1 is a PVC pipe. As you can see, as soon as I click PVC, we are having these PVC properties. Okay, so from label all the way to Poisson's ratio. So from here I can just click select. Okay, as soon as I click select, you can see here that even the Das Westberg coefficient is changed. Okay, now from here I can just go and change the other material, and so this one select concrete. Okay, and again this one I'll just select the other pipe material. Again, let me maintain with PVC. Of course you can just go, I'll just leave it as a DI or ductile iron. And again, this one I want to change its pipe material. From here what I can select again is steel. And also this one I want to change it to galvanized iron. And also this one here, PVC, I want to change it to PVC from, and again the other one I just maintain the way it is, and the last one I want to change it to let's say PVC. Yeah, PVC, and select OK. So now we have managed to change our length value. Also we have managed to learn how to edit our flex table and also to add the Das Westberg coefficient. And lastly, we managed to change the pipe materials. Of course, without going and select one by one. Okay, we have done all of that by using this flex table. Okay, now from here, before I click close, before I close this window, I need to change the pipe diameter. Okay, so for now you can see the default value is 152. Okay, I want to change this value. Okay, so from here, but before I change this one, so let me change all of them to, let's say, 90 mm dia pipes. Remember, we are using the hydraulic diameter, or we are using the internal diameter or the inside diameter of the pipe, not the outside. Okay, I want to change these values, so I can just click here on top of this whole diameter and select global edit. I want to set all of my pipe to 90 for now, 90. Then I'll come and change them later on. So instead of 152, I want to change all of them to 90. Okay, so as soon as I click 90, everything now is changed. Okay, so now that we have the length, pipe length, and also we are having the dash wasteback coefficient, and also we are having the pipe materials, and lastly we are having the pipe diameter. Of course, we will change them later on. I think now let me close this flex table for pipes, right? Let me close it. And for now, if I click one by one, you can see now the values has changed. Of course, the pipe material now is concrete instead of ductile iron. And also the other parameter that we changed, of course, the length now is changed. Okay, and this is the same for all pipes or links. Now, before we run our model, we need to insert, or we need to assign the demand for each required node. And to do that, instead of just clicking one node after the other, what we can do is, of course, by using flex table. No, not flex table, is by using the demand control center. So one thing that you need to keep it in mind is that the flex table is only for changing the physical properties for pipes and junctions, and of course other options, right? But for demands, we are going to use the demand center, and this is nothing but this one here. So if I go to home, make sure that you are in home. If I click this, you can see we have two options, the unit demand control center and the demand control center. For now, and for this tutorial, we are going to stick with the demand control center. Let me select this, and of course it will tell you just select yes. And this is the window that we are having. As you can see now, this window here is blank. There is nothing here we can work on. But what we need to do is very simple. Just go around this. You can see we are having new. Okay, if you click this, you can see add demand or initialize demand for all elements. For now, because we want to assign demand to all of our nodes, I'll just select this and select the initialize demand for all the elements. And of course, the other option is by selecting one node after the other, but I think this one is a very long route and we don't want to use that. I'll just close and I'll just select the initialize the demand for all elements. Okay, so this is what we are having. Again, keep it in your mind. The yellow colored values are the values that you cannot edit, but the white colored values are the values that we can edit. Okay, we can edit. For now, you can see we have the base demand, of course, which is in liters per second. And if you want to change, let's say, the units, if you don't want to use liters per second, you can just right click on top of the base demand and change the units. But for now, I'll just maintain liters per second. So from here, I want to assign the base demand, and the base demand here is flat, which is actually 1.5 liters per second on each node. So instead of clicking one by one, what I can do is to right click on top of the demand and select global edit. Okay, global edit. I can see now our global edit is active. I need to set the demand, the base demand, as 1.5 liters per second. 1.5 liters per second. So from here, just click OK. You can see now, as soon as I click OK, now each and every node now is assigned with 1.5 liters per second as a base demand. Of course, feel free to go and edit the values if you want. Okay. And again, the other option here is the pattern. Okay, the pattern or the demand pattern. But for now, because we are dealing with steady state and not external period simulation, there is nothing we can change on the demand pattern. And the next thing that we need to do is to close this one, because there is nothing here we can change. But later on we'll come and talk with the patterns possibly later on. But for now, let me close this one. Let me close this. Okay, so this is what we have. So far we have used the flex table to change the junction properties, link properties, reservoir properties, and also we used the demand center to assign the demand for each of our nodes. Lastly, we need to run our model and see if there is anything that we can modify. But for now, before I click run, make sure you just go and click validate. Okay, just home, then select validate. Okay, this is very important because it checks. So before it run your model, it checks if there is anything that is missing or if you have any error. Then it will just notify you before you even run your model. So for now, I'll just click validate to validate my model. You can see I don't have any problems. Of course, no problems were found. Let me click OK. Now the next step is to actually run our model, or to compute our model. So from here, I'll just click here, compute. This is what we are having. Okay, so it says that the flow supplied, of course, from the reservoir is 12 liters per second. Now this 12 liters per second is summation of each and every demand that we assigned in our junctions. And of course, the flow demanded is the same value, but the flow stored is 0 because we don't have any storage.